don't get comfortable with it, because there's so many places we can take things. There's so many things we can do.
You're listening to X-Posure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that is the Lathums with Circles of Faith. It is the opening track on the debut album, How Beautiful Life Can Be, which has just come out this week. And I'm very pleased to say that tonight, Alex Moore from the band is connected to me via Zoom to talk us through the whole album track by track. Hello, Alex. Great to see you.
Hello, sir. It's good to see you too.
Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it. You're mid-tour, so you're a busy man. I think you're sat in the tour bus right now.
Yes, sir, we are indeed, in the land yacht.
Fantastic. And Circles of Faith, opening track. How did you choose this as the opening track? Was this always going to be the one?
Well, it was during the lockdown. We went into the rehearsal room, and it was when we could kind of socially distance and practice and that. And we just went in. We didn't have any expectations of anything. And we started playing Circles of Faith, and it just felt right. It just felt natural, and it was like that should be like, we should definitely put this on the album. So we got it recorded. That was the first song we recorded. It's the opening track, and it's just it was. I think it was important to us because it was the first thing we did straight after all that time without seeing each other, without seeing anybody else. It just felt right that we put it there.
And what's the song about?
So the chorus, well, the world is turning, what am I? I was just thinking, even though things might be bad, and they might not be how you want them to be, the world doesn't stop for any of us. It carries on turning. So you've just got to make the best of what you've got. I know it's obviously not always easy, that, but yeah, it's just accept things, basically. Accept what you've got.
There's a combination of positivity and deep philosophy in what you write, I think, Alex. Whether you're conscious of it or not, there just seems to be that in so many of the songs. You know, and are these messages for yourself, or are you thinking about other people as well when you write them?
Most of these songs, yeah, I write them for myself, because it helps me to kind of find who I am and get things out of me that I need to. But I'm a lot more conscious of it now, that I can write to people as well. I can write for people, and that's coming through a lot in my lyrics at the moment. The songs I'm writing, I can kind of imagine what it'll be like with other people and how I can connect with them, not just through the words, but through the structure of the song. It's quite exciting, really. It's like a new way of writing. I like it.
Yeah, because you've seen people sing your words back to you in unison, and yeah, that must have given you so much confidence. So
much in key, everybody in the right tempo and everything. Like every night, spot on. Just thinking, not too long ago, I was writing these in my room, just on my own, singing them to myself. And now, a lot of the songs I don't even have to sing, and it would be pitch perfect. It's just amazing. It's a humbling feeling for just a young lad from Wigan.
Fantastic.
Just started writing for myself, and now I'm bringing joy to people. It's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, and experience joy from it yourself as well, of course.
Of course, it's something I'm always striving for. I can't replicate the feeling I get on stage with anything, and I was a bit apprehensive coming onto it, because I was worried I couldn't give people a good enough show, or I wasn't practiced enough or experienced enough. But it just feels right now. I don't have those insecurities. I can just concentrate on the crowd and the music and just have a good time.
Yeah, yeah. I think that people see the honesty in the performances and the passion in the performances as well, and linked with the music, it just falls into place, and they really get it, I think.
Yes, I'm not trying to be anything. I'm just being who I am, and I'm learning as well. Like each show, I'm getting more confident in engaging with people and kind of taking the time out to pick people out and just um, make it make it more special, make it more connected. Because I used to be quite insecure about opening myself up to a crowd, but it's just getting easier and easier. So I'm learning myself. We're all going through the journey together.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'll Get By is the next song on the album, the most recent single, I guess, taken from the record. What can you tell us about this one?
Personally, I love it. It's one of my favourites off the album. It's very hopeful. In my eyes, it's quite optimistic, which I'm not always very optimistic myself. And it's just kind of about, I don't need much to get by. I'm a very simple guy, and I'm like overwhelmingly grateful for what I've got now, and I can almost see things getting better and better. So I don't need much. I'll get by on the simple things.
Yeah. Where did you write it?
I was in my bedroom, like most of the songs. It started out ages ago. I started writing it just as we left college, as we was like going through the pubs and stuff. I started writing it then, and it's mad listening back to it now, because I'm in a different place. I was kind of hopeful for things even back then, even though I didn't think it at the time. I'm not nearly as optimistic as my lyrics perceive me to be, but it's nice to look back and reflect on it, and I can kind of see the hope that things will get better.
Fantastic. We're going to listen to I'll Get By now. This is it. It is the Lathums on X-Posure, Radio X. It is the Lathums with Fight On. It's the third track from their debut album, How Beautiful Life Can Be, which we're celebrating by playing you the whole thing with Alex Moore from the band, connected via Zoom to give us the lowdown on every song on it. And this takes the pace back up, Alex, and already a surefire classic in the world of the Lathums, and a live favourite as well. And it showcases your amazing rapid-fire delivery of these lyrics.
Yeah, I love trying to push myself with. I love wordplay. I've always been fascinated by it and what people can do with words and how far I can push it. But Fight On, it's a very much a fan favorite, and that I feed off that. I think a lot of people used it as fuel to kind of keep going. A lot of people have said that to me during the lockdown. It was like it was the lockdown song. A few people have said that, and even though the lyrics are something so different, it was about it was like I was reading a book about the French resistance in World War II, and it was kind of a lover's tale, but it's so relevant to the world we live in now, and obviously not realizing, but people have kind of taken that and as kind of fuel, and it's amazing live. Everybody sings along, they love it. So yeah, it's kind of an important one, because it was a song I wrote just before things really started to blow up, and we got loads of attention and everything. It was just me again, just kind of hoping for better things, and it's turned into something a lot more than that, and people have made it what it is. It's a very good feeling.
Yeah. An interesting inspiration, that book, was that a fictionalized account of this point in World War II, or was it a factual book?
A lot of it was factual, but I tend to kind of go off script a little bit because I'm a bit mad. So I just there's a few bits where I've kind of changed it to make the story a bit more relatable, I suppose.
So reading, is reading important? Are you do you read all the time? You're on a tour bus now. Have you got a pile of books that you've brought with you?
I'll be honest, I've only read like 4 books in my life, and 2 of them was against my will. I'm not a massive reader. I used to do it a lot when I was younger, I think. But I the way I do it, I pick up little pieces just from everyday life, and things just stick in my brain, and I either create stories about it or I just have to get something down because it's so profound. Like I say, I like the simple things, me, so I can find it in most things.
Yeah. How Beautiful Life Can Be seems to sum that up. It's the title track of the album. It's the next song on the album. And I've read that this came from a conversation you had with your mum at home.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, my mother. She was lifting me up after some tough times in lockdown. Like my lifeline had been taken away, the thing that brings me joy, and the thing that kind of makes me who I am.
That being performing to people, playing music.
Yeah, playing to people and sharing my songs with them and connecting with them. And that's it wasn't a normal thing to kind of experience. It was a very, very strange feeling. But my mum was kind of helping me accept it and understand that things like this will always happen. Maybe not to that extent in that context, but there is bad in the world. Like there's no sugarcoating it. But you've got to take the positives from it and kind of give it the best go you can. So that's what's the point in not? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so after that conversation, what do you do? Do you go into a room and start writing things down, or do you pick up the guitar and start singing things aloud to yourself? What's the reaction?
At first, I went upstairs and got my guitar and came back down. So I said to my mum, "Stop talking just for 1 second. Just hold those things." And then I went and got my guitar and that, and she was just saying, like you say, really profound things, but she didn't mean to. She was just speaking from the heart, and I had to write them down. And I started getting it going whilst we were speaking. Then I ran up to my room in my little corner and that started writing away. And it all just came together so naturally. It just felt organic. I didn't really have to do much, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was my mum, really.
But I love that she was actually part of the process of writing the song as well. Not only was she there, having a good soul to soul, heart to heart talk with you about things, but that you got the guitar out and wanted her to speak while you were playing the guitar. Did you record that at all?
I didn't actually. Unfortunately, that would have been a good one. That actually. But I feel like we've kind of immortalized that conversation between us, and that song is the result of that conversation, and it's out there forever now. It'll never go away. It's in people's minds and hearts, and they're singing it with us, and we've kind of shared that conversation with people in a crazy, weird, wonderful way.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. I love the idea that you've managed to immortalise a really important conversation with your mum in this incredible way. And we're going to listen to the song now. So this is the Lathums with How Beautiful Life Can Be on X-Posure, Radio X. You're You're listening to Exposure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that is the Lathums with The Great Escape. It is the 5th song on their debut album, How Beautiful Life Can Be, which we're playing in full tonight with Alex Moore from the band connected to us via Zoom in his tour bus in the midst of the UK tour that you've been looking forward to for months and months and months and months, and also looking forward to the release of the album, of course.
Yes, sir. It's amazing. It's hard to put into words. I kind of lost it a little bit before I came on, so I thought I wouldn't be the same. I thought I might not be the same person when I come back, or if I'll be good enough to kind of be what people expect us to be. But all of that has gone now. I'm just really happy to be out and connecting with people and doing what I love.
And am I right in thinking that The Great Escape is one of the first songs that you recorded as a band?
Yeah. It was one of the first songs me and Scott wrote together. And it was sat in his bedroom, and his cat was mooching about and that. And we was just kind of, he was laying the guitar down and that, he was teaching me how to play it, because at that point I wasn't very good at guitar. I'm still not very good now, but I can play any chords and that. And we were just having a conversation. It was the point where we was playing pubs and stuff, and like people in Wigan started to like recognise us and that, and it was I was like, we could actually do something with this. Maybe we could take it all the way in that. It was kind of a great escape from the life we was living. And now I'm mooching around playing to thousands of people every night. It's mental. It's amazing.
Yeah. And when did you meet Scott?
I met Scott in 2017 in a music college. He was sat in the corner wearing a big baggy pair of joggers and a big red jacket. He was sat in the corner and that, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to like him. But lo and behold, he's now a very, very special boy to me.
Yeah. So how did the conversation go? No, if you were thinking, I don't know whether I like the look of this dude.
it was just because I wasn't, like, at that point I was very confused as a person. Like, I didn't really know who I was, and I was just, I think maybe more apprehensive more than anything. I think I just had that guard up immediately, and not really let people close. I don't think it was anything he was doing, because he's a lovely lad, isn't he? But yeah, just I think it was a very strange conversation. Obviously, because we're both quite strange people, so I imagine it would have gone very weird.
At that point, you wouldn't have realised that he was a guitar god in waiting?
No, not at all. It was very, very chilled out, just very, very placid and that. Not really bothered about much. And then went in one of the rehearsal rooms and he started singing it, and it was just, because I wasn't used to that. I just played a few chords and that, a few G chords, a few C's. But he used the full guitar, like the full neck of the guitar, and I was like, what's going on here?
That's brilliant. And did you record this? I mean, am I right in thinking that this version of The Great Escape is the original version that you recorded, but it's been remastered for the album? So this was recorded with John Kettle, is that right?
Yes, sir. The man himself, a mentor.
And was that at the college?
Yeah, that was just at the music college. John has a studio that he's had all sorts of people in with him. But he helped us develop when we was like before, because to us he was like this kind of genius, but not in a bad way to him. But we was his students at that time. So he had to obviously have a certain amount of kind of professionalism. But he really took us under his wing and kind of made that extra step with us, and tried to help us as musicians and people. And I'll always remember the things he said to me, and the conversations we've had, because he not even just a musical side of it. He has helped me as a person, as who I am, and it's obviously shown through the development. Because I like to say we're a lot more advanced than we were a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and were all four of you at the college at this time?
No, it was just myself, Scott, and Ryan. Johnny was tiling, but he was colorblind, so he was putting different tiles on.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing he found that bass guitar. So what was John Kettle's reaction then when you dropped out of college?
I think he always supported us in whatever we did, but I think he knew that it was right. He didn't want. I don't think he wanted to push us in any direction, but I think he knew that it was the right thing for us to do, and he knew that before we did. Right.
Yeah. So he could see that actually the best way for you to develop is to focus on the band and focus on the songwriting and the performing and the playing, and go out there,
yes,
rather than get it all schooled and sit in a class waiting and dreaming for this to happen, but actually go and do it.
Yes, definitely. He's done it himself. Musically, he's a very, very clever man. He's a clever man in general, but he's musically, take a lot of inspiration from him.
Fantastic. I Won't Lie is the next song, and I think, but I might be wrong, but I think you also take a lot of inspiration from the likes of Johnny Marr and the Smiths, and in these two songs with The Great Escape and I Won't Lie, you can really hear a kind of Smiths influence or inspiration. I mean, does that come mainly through Scott, do you think?
Yeah, definitely, because his guitar is so profound, it's so strong, he can really craft just lovely music just with his guitar, something I couldn't do. So even if I didn't have any lyrics, all of his melody would still be like to a T. So it can carry itself. Do you know what I mean? So that helps a lot. Kind of, I know that he's gonna connect with my lyrics with his guitar, so I don't have to worry about that, if you know what I mean. It makes things a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. How long has he been playing? Do you know when he first started playing?
I think he was quite young, to be fair. He was like 14 or something, maybe. He might have been even younger. I'm not sure. But he has been doing it a while. So I think he was like, that was when he first started getting into guitar, when he was like 14 maybe. And he was on his scooter and he broke his wrist. He had a cast on, but he still wanted to play his guitar. So he learned to play the guitar with his cast on. Then when he took it off, he said it was like, he couldn't play it. It was like a dead weird thing. So he had to relearn it, and he said he got better from it. So you never know, maybe that's where it comes from.
Wow, that is amazing. So a terrible accident, which could have ruined things for him, helped develop his playing and his skill. That's amazing. Fantastic. Right, we're going to hear I Won't Lie now and hear Scott in full effect then. This is the Lathums with I Won't Lie on X-Posure Radio X. It is Lathums with I See Your Ghost on X-Posure Radio X. It is the 7th song on the debut album, How Beautiful Life Can Be, which we're celebrating by playing you the whole thing with Alex Moore from the band, talking us through it track by track. We've kind of flipped sides now. We're on to side 2 already, Alex. And
yes, sir.
Many people will know this. Upbeat set highlight floors around the country have been destroyed by people stomping along to I See Your Ghost. And where did this one come from? Because it's quite interesting, because it's a kind of contrast to quite a few of the other songs within your set.
Yeah, it was a bit mad. I just, like I said before, I really love wordsmith. I just find it so fascinating, like what you can do with words. And I wanted to give it like a go myself. So I started playing the first 3 chords, just doing that over and over again. And I kind of just kept reciting, do you know, the noises I was going to make, like the syllables and that. And I just kind of kept doing that. And then the words started naturally coming, because the syllables fit in with the words, or the words fit in with the syllables rather. So the natural flow just kind of started coming, and then I did the verses and that, and I was buzzing, and I just left them. I was like, yeah, sorted. And then I just never really thought about them again. And then we was in the studio, and we wanted a song that had loads of energy and that we could really get the crowd to have their moment. Do you know what I mean? Where they can just let loose and jump to the music and that, because it's very, very rigid. And I went in the studio. We was doing that, and we needed a song that was more like that, more energetic, more upbeat. So I did the choruses. We found these diminished chords that Colin from our music college showed us like maybe a year before. I wanted to use this diminished chords, so we started playing it, and then the words came with the chorus, and like that same day we recorded it, and it was done that day.
Amazing. You make it sound so easy. And stylistically, you know, it has a kind of ska feel to it, but it also reminds me of early tracks by The Coral. And obviously you worked with James Skelly of The Coral on this record. He produced it. And were those references, or did you just happen to end up playing the guitar in that way and it just kind of stuck?
Well, I was quite proud of myself, actually. We was playing when I did the chorus with the diminished. He was like, yeah, I like that. Like, it was a bit cooler than that though. And he had a look at my notes, actually, and the At Night I See Your Ghost. I had all those like written down. It was like, ooh, just bang that on them there. Like, just dead calm and collected, dead cool and that. So I started singing them and that, and it was just what it was. And then he went, right, record it.
Yeah, amazing. And then you think, wow, we've got that song we were looking for, that one that is going to raise the roof and increase the energy in the set. You know, you kind of solved a few things all in one go, both, you know, the riddle of where these sounds go and where will these words go, and then suddenly, and now we have the song we were looking for.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. So it's a beautiful burst of creativity in the studio then.
The best kind.
Oh My Love is the next song, the 8th song on the album. And what can you tell us about this? I mean, this is another, beautiful, and this is another beautiful sentiment, I think.
Yeah, for me, it's a conversation between 2 people. One is still alive and kicking, and the other isn't here anymore. And it's kind of, I wanted to have the conversation, but from both perspectives, not just the perspective of the person who's lost someone. And it kind of gave me a lot of comfort, kind of telling myself that things are okay. I can still talk to that person even though they're not here. Can still have that conversation, and I take comfort in that.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I mean, did you have people in mind that you were thinking of?
I did, yeah. Someone very special. But they're just for me at the moment.
Yeah, sure. Well, this is for them then. I think we should say that now. And this is the Lathums with "Oh My Love" on Exposure Radio X. You are listening to Exposure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that is the Lathums with "I'll Never Forget the Time Spent With You." It is the 9th song on their debut album, How Beautiful Life Can Be, which I'm playing in full tonight with Alex Moore from the band, talking us through it track by track. And a beautiful ballad there, Alex. Tell us about this song.
Well, personally, it's becoming a very strong favourite of mine to play live. How people just when I start playing it and start singing, people just go silent, and I can feel them soaking it up. It's mental. It's such a surreal feeling. And people have like learned the chorus and everything, and they're singing it back, and it's just a lovely moment. But it's a special song to me because it has a lot of the thoughts and feelings I had on the way to where we are now, when things weren't certain, but they were very, very hopeful. I remember we just played our first headline gig in London in the Old Mirror, and it was just such a surreal thing. It was an amazing experience. It was the first time where everybody in the crowd was singing along and just taking everything for what it was, and it really stuck with me, and it made me feel things I hadn't felt before. And I remember just going straight from stage, went through the back, I jumped in the van, and I started playing a C and an F, and I kept going from that, and that sounded nice, and then I had a G in there, and that felt nice, and then I just started singing these things that I felt. It wasn't like I was writing lyrics down. It was like I was speaking to someone, like sat in front of me, and I was telling them like I don't know where I'll be. I don't know what the world has in store, but I'm happy that I'm here, and I'm grateful to have you here, and I'm happy that even though you might not be here, I've still got that thing that binds us. I've got that connection. I've got you in my heart, and it makes it so special that people relate to that and they can use that for their own life and their own experiences. It's a dream come true, mate.
Yeah.
Without sounding cheesy, it is a dream come true.
Yeah, and how brilliant that, an audience and the whole feeling that an audience can give you can inspire you to create a song. And then now, when you perform that song, you feel even more inspired by performing it to the audience. And it's quite a brave thing to do with this song as well, because it's quite different to the rest of the record, and within your live set, it's a moment where things calm down, and the focus is very much more on you than the rest of the band making a lot of noise.
Yeah, it did used to frighten me. But now I know I've not got anything to hide. I want to be open with people, because it helps me, it helps other people, and it's good to kind of not have that barrier up, that guard. It's good that I can make people feel the way I do, and it's that full circle. I wouldn't be able to write these songs if I didn't have the people in front of me, so it's just, yeah, I think they don't realise it, but I think I need them more than they need me.
Very interesting. I Know That Much is the next song, and it seems to me that you're on a journey of self-knowledge and self-discovery with being in the band and writing these songs, and this is a good example in a way.
Yes, sir. It's kind of just I want to make something of myself. I want to be something that like my family can be proud of, and I can look back and be proud of it myself. I don't want to miss out on anything. I know that life is very short, and even though it doesn't always go the way we want it to, it is an amazing life out there, and we can enjoy things. And I'm so lucky to be in the position that I'm in, that I don't work a day in my life, because I'm doing what I love, and I'm around the people that I love, and it is, it's like you say, I'm learning. It's like a journey of kind of figuring these things out, figuring out who I am. But I'm so lucky to just have this, and have that, be able to just be myself, and people appreciate it. It's the best thing in the world, mate.
Yeah. And with I Know That Much, there's a kind of ambition to what you're doing. You know, that you have kind of bigger plans for it in a way. You know, bigger plans for getting out of Wigan.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the place where I was born. It's the place where I've been brought up. It's where I feel comfortable. It's what I know. But there's so many things out there in life. Like I said, I don't want to miss out on anything. I want to experience everything. I want to take everything that I possibly can, and I want to enjoy it.
See the world, and the music will take you there.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. We go to places that I would never have been if it wasn't for people wanting to see us and supporting us, and wanting us to play songs to them and sing to them. Like I've met so many people that I'd never meet. I've done things that I'd never do, and I am like I say, I'm just so lucky.
It's amazing, and also amazing to think that it's only just begun. Really, you know, this journey.
Yeah, it's only going to get better, and it's only going to get bigger. And like I say, I wonder where I'll be in 2 years' time, 3 years' time.
Yeah, amazing. It's very exciting. I Know That Much. This is the Lathums on X-Posure, Radio X. It is the Lathums with Artificial Screens from How Beautiful Life Can Be, the debut album. That is the penultimate song. It's the longest song on the record. Alex Moore is giving us the lowdown on the album track by track. And here, Alex, you know, we enter another kind of world with the Lathums, another dimension in terms of the songwriting, and in terms of, you know, this is the longest song, that, you know, the one where the band let rip in many ways. You know, everybody gets a turn to show off, which is exciting.
Yes, yeah.
And the song, lyrically, you know, the song has a lot of important messages that you're trying to get across.
Yes, sir. I feel that we live. There's a mad kind of artificial world out there, where people live on the phones, or live from the phones. And don't get me wrong, like social media has done amazing things for us. It allows us to connect with people, all pretty much, but only to a certain point. I mean, I feel like we're losing that natural kind of interaction with people. I want to speak to a person, not by texting or ringing. I want to see that person in front of me, and look into that conversation. And there's a mad kind of artificial world out there, and I just take on it and just, like, enjoy the world for what it is. Like, you don't need to be on your phone to experience things. Don't need to take pictures and that.
Yeah. And when you wrote this, I mean, were you writing this with the band in mind? I mean, what was the idea when you were putting these things down?
It was the first song I wrote for the band. It was when we'd been rehearsing a couple of times, and we wanted to we had pubs booked, and we was gonna go and play him and that. But I for some reason I was just really insecure about covers. I don't know why. I wasn't confident playing covers, and I always wanted there to be at least one of my own songs in there. So I wanted to write one that the whole band could play, because I was only used to writing acoustic tunes. And it just kind of, I sent a voice note to Scott. I was playing I had root notes on the bass going, and I was just kind of improvising almost, just like laying it off. And it just it felt right, it felt good. Sent it to Scott. I think he was pot washing at the time. And he, on his break, he was like, "Oh, I'm digging that." And then he came in the next day and was like, do you want to play that?" And then it was that was it from there.
Yeah, fantastic. So previously you had been writing your own songs, but in your bedroom and on the acoustic guitar. So they kind of, in a way had a limited dimension in terms of what you were thinking about, and what you didn't even know that you'd ever get to perform them to anybody.
No, not at all. I didn't. I mean, then I didn't know if there was any good. I knew I liked them. I knew I enjoyed them, but there was, even with the lads, I was a bit insecure about showing them to the lads, because I didn't know where they'd take them. I didn't know if I was opening myself up too much to people. But slowly I kind of understood that they're not like that, and they do accept it. So then I started showing them all these songs, and then before you know it, we've got like 2 albums worth of songs, like before we'd even been in a recording studio or anything.
Yeah. That's so good. And I think they probably thought, great, we don't need to do these covers. He's got these amazing songs. We can ditch the cover set. What songs were in the cover set at that point?
There was some of the favourites from the crowd. Disco 2000 by Pulp. Everyone loved that. That's a tune. We did Crying Lightning always really went down really well with Arctic Monkeys. We did James, Laid by James.
Right.
There was all sorts, pal. We used to do like 2-hour sets or like 3-hour sets and that, and just play loads of songs, and that's just keep playing and that. So there was loads of tunes actually. There was loads of Kinks in there. There was a few Beatles tunes. Yeah, anything you wanted, pretty much. You name it, we'll play it.
It sounds great. It sounds like a set list of indie bangers and all-time classics, performed by a band right in front of people. No wonder people loved it. But it's great that you were able to kind of move away from that and morph that into your own material as well. And then suddenly, as you say, suddenly it's just your own songs that you're performing.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And one thing that really made me feel good was, after some sets, people would come over and they'd ask about our own songs. They're like, "What was that song you played? I like that. I've never heard it before." And then we'd say it was one of our own. That, and they're like, "What? Are you sure?" But yeah, it was good. It was good. People acknowledging them, and kind of appreciating them just as much as the covers.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah, and it get a kind of little window into the possibility of your own songs taking flight, and being able to put them in amongst all these other classics, and they still stand up and people hear them and are intrigued and interested to find out what they were. That's really exciting. What a great training ground, though, as well for you as a band.
Yeah, I've got really good at dodging pints.
Brilliant. Nothing can faze you now. That's so good. And now we're going to play the final song on the record. The Redemption of Sonic Beauty is the closing song on How Beautiful Life Can Be, which is quite a title, The Redemption of Sonic Beauty. And you've got some great words that you've used in the course of the album and in some of these songs. And this has a kind of a certain importance about that title, it seems. And it's matched by the music because, having played all these guitars, this is a kind of piano ballad that you end the record with.
Yes, sir. We wanted to show people that we're not one dimensional. We've got so many places we can be, so many things that we can do. And it's just, it felt right to show, like, to end it off that, to kind of give people, kind of let people know that we've got a lot more to offer. We're not just a one-dimensional band. Like, what you've come to expect of us, don't don't get comfortable with it, because there's so many places we can take things. There's so many things we can do, but we'll always be us. That's the only thing that will remain the same. We'll always be ourselves, and still right to relate to people and try and make people feel better.
And this is the first time I think Scott played the piano, isn't it? I mean, he'd only just kind of turned his attention to piano.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like one of the first kind of things he started playing. He had an obsession with Freddie Mercury when he wrote the song, and he had to get a piano. He watched Bohemian Rhapsody, and the next day it was imperative that there was a piano in his conservatory. So he got that, and then he was twiddling away on that, and he sent me a video of him doing it. And it was like, I immediately thought, yeah, I'm feeling this. So I drove to his, and we started. We just kind of I just improvised, because it's easy when Scott's playing the rhythm, because I don't have to think about anything else. I can just kind of word things off. So I just started improvising and that, and it just felt really natural. We had a little break, and then Scott came back in. I don't know what he was doing, and he went, "Should be called The Redemption of Sonic Beauty." I was like, what? Where have you just been? What have you just been doing? And then I was like, yeah, sound, I'll go with it. And then he played the chorus, and it's the redemption of Sonic Beauty. And that's just where it just all unfolded from there.
Amazing. I love that idea. I wonder where he got that.
I was wondering where he'd been, do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just all of a sudden, just redemption of Sonic Beauty. It's just, it was a nice moment. It was lovely.
And then in the studio, you get to end the record with a gong.
I indeed. Duzzy was more than delighted to hit that gong at the end. Like all week, he was like, "We have to get a gong. There has to be a gong." And sure enough, we got him a gong and that, and he was proud as punch when he hit it. He was buzzing.
That's brilliant. Alex, thank you so much for taking the time out of the tour to talk us through the album. Congratulations on your debut album. It's so exciting to be able to play it tonight and to hear all about it from you. And it's also exciting to think that there's so much more, that you have all these plans and ambitions and dreams and desires that to give us so much more in the future.
Definitely, mate. I want to give as much as I possibly can to the universe. But I just want to say a massive thank you to my friends and family that have supported me on this way, and every person that has bought a ticket or watched a YouTube video or just been with us. I can't stress how important it is that you feel this way, and that I can make you feel that way. It gives me a lifeline, and I want to thank everybody for it.
Brilliant. Brilliantly put. Alex, thank you so much for talking to us. And here is the closing song on the debut album by the Lathums. This is The Redemption of Sonic Beauty on X-Posure, Radio X.
Radio X.